Hey, what's going on, guys? Here's a quick look at the Omega Seamaster No Time to Die edition. With all the recent buzz and anticipation for the new James Bond casting, I thought it'd be a fitting time to cover my thoughts on owning this watch, despite it being released several years back. Specifically, I want to talk about whether I think this is still worth purchasing in 2025. Now, I'm going to be skipping over the specs of this watch since those details are available on the Omega site, but I'll go ahead and add them to the description of this video in case you are interested. So let's jump straight into things. I won't make you guys wait for an answer. The truth is, yes, I absolutely would buy this watch again today, but with one major caveat. I would only consider buying this again secondhand. This watch currently sells at $10,600 on the titanium mesh bracelet, which is a steep upcharge for being a 007 branded watch. For context, a new standard steel-on-steel Omega Seamaster 300 goes for $6,200, which is over a $4,000 difference. Now, there's of course some fun details on the No Time to Die that justify a price difference, but not by $4,000. Now, this was my first real watch purchase a few years back, which is why I wanted to get it new. But again, if I were going to consider getting this now, I would only try to get it pre-owned. But with that out of the way, let's get into my actual likes and dislikes of this watch after wearing it for the past several years. Let's start with the good. Now, regardless if you're a Bond enthusiast or not, this watch is tastefully done. You wouldn't really even know that this is a 007 inspired watch unless you looked really closely, which I think is a huge plus. Sometimes brands can take it a little bit too far with collaborations, and it ends up looking like a kid's toy. AP, I'm looking at you guys. Some other positives are the tropical dial, which some say it cosplays as a fake patina, but brown is my favorite color, so it honestly works for me. Also, being that the watch is made of a majority of titanium, it is very light, which I like, but it can take some getting used to as it does look like it'd be a heavy watch. So just keep that in mind, as I know some people are thrown off by that. Now, this also has a unidirectional rotating bezel, which is synonymous with dive watches, as they help divers track how long they've been submerged for. And as much as I like to say I go diving on my spare time, this watch has only seen the deep end of a pool and some light treading at the beach. That being said, I do use the bezel way more than expected, but mainly as a timer for cooking or just to track things in terms of how long I've waited for in line. The last thing that I really love about this watch is that it's built like a tank. This hides scratches extremely well. I fit this watch against some rough surfaces countless times, like during hiking, and it's hardly visible unless you deliberately look for them and hold it up against the light. Now let's go ahead and move on to the negatives of this watch. So starting with the most controversial, this bracelet is honestly not that comfortable. Don't get me wrong, I think it looks incredible and there's no pinch from the mesh itself, but the overlapping clasp on the bottom here can get annoying and it pushes into the wrist after prolonged wear, especially when resting on a tabletop. Now to be fair, it is designed to be worn while taking down criminal organizations, not crunching numbers on Excel. The second negative I have is the helium escape valve on the left-hand side, which is a bit of an eyesore. It doesn't bother me as much as it does some others that I've chatted with, but I definitely prefer it to be more integrated, the way it is for, say, a Submariner, just to have that cleaner look. The next thing is the lume. It is bright and it looks great, but only when it's at full charge. I find that it tends to fade really fast, so when I wear it throughout the day, it's not all that visible by nighttime when I might actually need it. So unless you're carrying around a UV flashlight to juice up the lume, I wouldn't personally rely on it. Lastly, the biggest con that we already talked about is going to be the price compared to a normal Seamaster, which makes it a hard watch to justify at retail. I personally, again, really only recommend getting this at secondhand if you don't care to have it brand new, because you can find them in a great condition at a few $1,000s less than retail on the aftermarket. Let me know how you guys feel about this watch and comment down below what watch you would want to see the new Bond wear on the big screen next.